All right, so for the first fight of the night, we start off with the banger, man. So we start off with Nathaniel Wood versus John Castaneda. Nathaniel Wood's from England. He's 16-4. He's 26 years old. He's 5 feet. He's 5 feet 6 inches tall, and he's 3-1 inside of the UFC right now. His opponent, John Castaneda, he actually made his way into the UFC via the Ultimate, or not the Ultimate Fighter, but the Contender Series.
Oh, yeah.
So he competed on the Contender Series. He won a decision there. He's an American. He's 17-4. He's 28 years old, and he's 5 feet 7 inches tall. So tell me what you think about these guys.
Yeah, well, Nathaniel Wood, he's a Brad Pickett guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody knows Brad Pickett.
Yeah. So an interesting thing about that, he came out after one of his fights, and he said that one of his goals in the UFC was to beat all the people that had beaten Brad Pickett.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I like that. I mean, why not? If you're a protege of somebody, you know,
yeah,
you want to go in and avenge them,
right?
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I think, you know, kind of like Brad Pickett though, he does get a little bit overzealous when he likes to throw. He just he likes to go, man. Yeah. He's got a crazy good ground game from what I've seen. But you know, when he fought John Dodson. So if you notice, when he kind of gets blitzing a little bit, he kind of leans in when he throws his punches, and John Dodson recognized that and was able to drop him with it.
Yeah, that was a good match between the two of them. It
was fun.
I felt like he won the first round in that fight. Yep. Second round probably went to Dodson. It was a good fight though. And then they went to the third round, and Dodson ended up catching him and dropping him there. But overall, it was a good fight. I don't take anything away from him for that. But if you look at his wins inside the UFC, he has 3 submission wins right now inside of the UFC. One of them was actually a Performance of the Night award, and that was against Johnny Eduardo. Yep. Most recently, though, he beat Andre Ewell with the submission as well. Yeah. So out of his 16 wins that he has, he's finished 14 of them. He has 8 knockouts and he has 6 submissions. And every single fight that he's won since 2016, he's finished. So he's a finisher. He's always looking to finish. In this fight, though, John Castaneda is the late last-minute replacement. Mm-hmm. So originally, he was supposed to fight. Nathaniel was supposed to fight Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, Khabib's, is that his cousin?
I don't know. I don't know what the family relation it is, but he was pulled off the card due to Khabib's father passing away. Right. And then they pulled in John Castaneda on short notice to replace him. But I do like a lot of things about Nathaniel. Like we were talking about, he has great movement. He's the former 135-pound champion for Cage Warriors. He's light on his feet. He's got good striking. He started kickboxing when he was 10 years old. He's got good takedowns. He's got great submissions. Obviously, you know, he's got 6 submission wins. 3 of his submission wins coming in the UFC.
His first 3 fights in the UFC all ended by submission.
Yeah. So. Yeah, before he ran into John Dodson. Yeah. But what I do like about John Castaneda is a lot of things. He's out there talking to people right now. He's saying, you know, Nathaniel hasn't faced anybody. You know, he's basically talking himself up. He's the -- ranked bantamweight in Mexico right now. So he has a little bit of that's according to Tapology.com. That's where I get that from. But yeah, so he's making his official UFC debut. Where I do run into a problem is, though, since he's been on Dana White's Contender Series, he's gone 3-2. Mm-hmm. So he hasn't really done a lot since then. He's been kind of up and down, and that kind of pushes me a little bit to Nathaniel Wood. I think I already predicted Nathaniel Wood would win that originally before that. But based on the fact that it's a short notice and that he's gone 3-2 since then, I think Nathaniel Wood submits him in the second round. Yeah,
so with John Castaneda, you know, he is making his UFC debut technically. Mm-hmm. After his his Contender Series fight, he ended up in Combate Americas, which is where you're talking about he went 3-2.
Yes.
One of the things in Combate Americas that I heard one of the commentators talking about when I was watching one of his fights is that he was on his last leg in Combate Americas. They were fed up with him. Apparently, he's got some attitude problems. He missed weight for the championship fight.
Yep.
And one of the other things that she said was that he had turned down a lot of fights. He just wasn't willing to fight at that point. So they were kind of done with him at that point. If he didn't win that last fight, I think it was the Chris Beal fight I actually watched. at that point. He fought Chris Beal.
So that was a while ago.
That was a little bit ago.
Yeah, that was in 2017.
Where was So it was right before the Contender Series. Literally right before. They were talking about if he didn't win that fight, Combate was just gonna send him on a 30-hour bus ride back home, and so that was pretty crazy. And he ended up beating Beal. And Beal was actually on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
he was on Ronda Rousey's team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's a name that you can look out for when you're trying to look at the list and see who the guys beat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, you said you've got
Nathaniel
Wood by submission.
Yep, round 2.
Round 2. So, okay, I think that Castaneda actually looked pretty solid on the ground himself.
Well, he did. He did look solid.
He's looked really solid. And I think
he's got good wrestling, but sorry to cut you off a little bit there. Yeah. But go back to that Contender Series fight. I saw a lot of mistakes there on that ground game. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those mistakes that he was making, Nathaniel Wood is the guy that'll capitalize on those and choke him out.
Should be.
So
we'll find out.
That's where I got the submission from, was the fact that I saw him make some mistakes on the ground.
I think Wood's still going to get it. I think he's going to take him down. I think we're going to see some ground stuff. But I got Wood winning a 3rd-round TKO via ground and pound.
Ooh, all right.
See,
all
so
right.
I think Wood's better on the ground, too.
He's got wicked ground and pound,
too. He does.
Too.
His ground and pound looks
this
great.
guy...
He's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say where he's going to line up in the UFC, but he's definitely a guy that'll stick around for a long time. You know, even if he doesn't make it to the top 10, he'll be a guy like a Francisco Trinaldo who fights later on tonight, who's had like 20 fights in the UFC. You know, because
similar to Brad Pickett, himself.
Yeah.
Just up and down, just taking fights and fights.
Well, I don't want to say up and down. I just think that he's going to have a long career in the UFC.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be
based on his style.
He looks like a fun fighter for sure.
Yeah, no,
we both
I like
have Wood winning.
Yep, we have Wood winning.